So, how about what are your thoughts on, creating the need to do this performing arts in day-to-day life? Because unless and until we don't create the need in the society, it becomes still it is staying as like hobby more or less.
I
And
think it has, Battery Dance, which is my dance company,
mm,
has two twin mantras. One is to pursue artistic excellence, to constantly reach for the higher, and the other is social relevance. And in social relevance, what we mean by that is we want to provide access to the arts for everyone. And I think that's maybe the key to your question. The fact that so many young people, perhaps in different economic brackets where their families don't have the resources to provide extra training for them, extra exposure, going to performances, studying after school with a music teacher or a dance teacher, it should be part of every child's life, I believe.
so
It's
my
as
question,
fundamental, as math and science and literature. And this is, I think, the issue that we miss the opportunity to introduce the arts at an age where young people can feel that it can become part of their lives. And when you talk about compartmentalization, if it's not part of your family, if it's not part of your school, if it's not part of your community, where do you have the access? So this
my
is, I think, a
question,
fundamental problem.
yeah, that's the problem. So my question is how, if you can search, because you are an excellent organizer and you have tested, like you have really proved successful. So if you can suggest some measures or the methods by which we can, uh, if something we can take it forward and create, the need, because we all know this problem and we all are working, and you see today even the standards have gone so high. People are dancing well, they are doing different kinds of work, wonderful dances, standard has gone up. But what about, but still somewhere you find that need, it is more about projection of yourself, that I'm dancing, or somewhere we are just going for satisfying our own need ourselves. But how about making it as a need and understand that it is important in day-to-day life? Because
Well, I
as
think here we are on the platform of the Rabindranath Tagore University. There couldn't be a more perfect sort of mentor or role model than Rabindranath Tagore. He understood that the arts need to be part of education, and he created Shantiniketan. He dropped out of normal school because he was bored and he couldn't stand the sort of lockstep kind of education that was present at that time in Kolkata. So, I think we need to follow his lead and take strength from his passion and his incredible achievement as a Renaissance man. What we have done for Battery Dance is to say it's not enough for us just to pursue our own creative aspirations. We have to figure out how to address societal needs. And so we began right from the very beginning of the dance company 45 years ago. We began to perform out of doors in free public performances. And our idea was that this would be one way of building new audiences and exposing people, and gradually created the Battery Dance Festival, which, as you mentioned, is New York's longest running public dance festival. And every summer we get 2,000 people every night to see all of these different dance forms. And of course, this year, because of the pandemic, we went virtual and we had almost 30,000 views from 200 countries around the world. So I think the appetite is there when people have access. And maybe in this time that we're all suffering through, so much suffering and loss and death and illness and fear, um, on the other hand, the positive is that people have gone much more into the virtual world, which gives us an audience we would have never had before.
Mayaji, we do talk a lot about art transcends and transforms. No I, it dissolves I. Do you see the performing arts, like I'm talking about the Indian dance? Are we on, there is more I and less dissolving of the I, where art is, maybe it is not, it's more about the skill. And what about the transformation? Um,
It goes to the question you originally no, you just raised, and Jonathan answered to you about it. The There are so many forces against what you're trying to articulate here. The whole commercial, the Bollywood, for example, in India, is not going to really give you any kind of spiritual succor, nor are people by and large looking for it. They want to be entertained, and they don't see Indian classical dance as a means, as a way to entertain, because it requires attention. It requires a degree of some knowledge, some interest has to be triggered. And so, yes, school curriculums, exposure to this, that is one way to go. But I think that the Indian classical dancers in India, at least, are fighting an uphill battle, and the audiences are shrinking. Organizers are having a hard time. They depend on um, advertisements, not by ticket collections. So there are so many things that are against it. Should arts be a part of the integral part of the society? Undoubtedly so. Something that takes you to a higher plane. But the point is that that's not, if majority of the people are not seeking that, the dancer, musician, whoever are confined then to smaller audiences who are genuinely interested. And for me, that's okay. I think that's
that's the
quite
thing.
all right.
That's the thing
I
that
don't want thousands of people sitting there waiting for me to do something that is kind of drama and acting out. And I mean, we are just different genre of dancers. That's it.
And actually, the forms themselves, at their best, are appreciated close up. And so you
It is
really can't have a solo by Maya or Sheila at Carnegie Hall with an audience yards and yards away from the stage, because you'll miss the facial expressions, you'll miss the nuance. There's so much precision and so much nuance in every shade of angle and choreography. So, you know, that is a problem. I think that, because so much of Indian dance is a solo art form, and
so
how many soloists can really command the attention of a very large audience, and how much of the audience can actually see the beauty and the jewel-like precision of some of these performances. I mean, my favorite performances of Indian dance, I've been very close.
true.
very
It is a
So if
byproduct.
we take that as either, maybe, I won't say shortcoming, but just to understand the subject, if we say, then my question is again that, like, I feel that when any artist, they're so passionate about I mean, whoever is dancing, like, we never look at any other outcome. Uh, how about, I think, what professions do you think it can be enhanced further by drawing on this artist mind? Like, do you see
I
any
think
possibility?
everything is enhanced. I mean, we've had students who
Yeah,
have
so can you
participated
please
in
give
our
some examples?
workshops,
Hmm.
but who became lawyers or who became hoteliers or whatever, and they remember that dance experience, and they remember the sense of themselves that they achieved through the dance experience, that it gave them something that carried through the rest of their lives. I've heard this time and time again. So I don't think we can underestimate how important dance training can be, even if somebody doesn't become a professional dancer. But it gives them a sense of discipline. It gives them a sense of their own bodies and their own facility and what they can actually communicate without words. And in today's world, where people are meeting each other on so many levels but don't speak the same language, either culturally or linguistically, Dance cuts through all of that.